Hey, Joy, how are you doing today?
Hi, Carrie. I am lovely. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am doing great. I am so happy it's Friday, but in a realtor world, Friday doesn't really mean anything, but it's still kind of fun to say, hey, it's Friday. Um,
Yeah.
but just curious, what do you have planned this weekend?
This weekend, I have planned a very, very fun move. I'm moving. Yay. Woohoo. So that'll take a lot of my time. And then in the
Yeah.
time that I'm not up and running around, I would like to rest. That would really be helpful for my body. How about you?
I've got a couple things planned. I might try to go out of town on vacation. I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
Nice, nice.
but I'm not sure. But I definitely, because we only got a couple more weeks left of summer pools. So I probably will try to
Right.
hit the pools with my niece and nephew because jumping off the diving board is the thing, and it's a performance. So it's video. We got to do videos of the jumping. Yeah.
So you can dive?
No, I cannot dive. They dive.
Oh,
They dive.
okay.
I
You're
record.
just a videographer. Gotcha. I
Yes,
love
I'm
it.
just yeah. I'm there to watch and record and give scores to the presentation. So
You need to be there with your signs,
yeah, with my
one
numbers.
through five.
Yeah, my sister and I'll just be like, anyways. Well, guys, we are
I
so
love it.
excited to have Joy Lara here today. She is a organizer with Joyspace Creations. She's absolutely amazing. And we are going to talk a little bit about what she does, how she got into this industry, and why it's her passion, and everything else in between. So let's start out with, how did you get into this kind of business?
Great question. So, how did I get into the business?
Mhm.
This sounds simple and I'm not being sarcastic. I just had my first client. I didn't realize the impact of this service until I finished with my first client and saw how impacted she was by the change that we made in her home office.
Yeah.
So much so that she cried because she was
Oh,
able to write herself a sticky note at her own desk.
yeah.
This organizing and decorating and being very wise spatially in a home and an office, just systematic and planning minded. It's always been part of me ever since I was young. Like literally, I think second grade was when it really started kicking in, and I took a lot of action in my own house, in my own bedroom. I would rearrange furniture all the time. I
Yeah.
would stay after school and help my teachers move desks. Like it's just always been part of me. It's kind of been my gift. And I got into it whenever a family friend was struggling and she needed some help with her home office.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for that opportunity because that's what made me realize that it is a service and not everyone is good at taking care of their space. So
Yeah.
if I can offer this to others, then that's a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I can definitely see that. And you found your passion, and that just makes everything so much, easier to do. So I definitely agree with you.
And fun.
Yeah, and it makes it, yeah, exactly. Every time you go do a job, it's probably so fun. So I can definitely see that. I personally don't like a lot of clutter, so to me, it's rewarding, and it takes the anxiety away when things are organized. So I get that completely. Yeah.
Yeah,
So with your company, Joy Space Creations, what do you offer? What are your services? Like, what all do you do?
great question. So I love answering this question because it's kind of something you have to approach in an open-minded way. So my services are I'm an organizer and decorator for home and office spaces.
Mhm.
To get into the nitty-gritty of that,
Yeah.
specifically, I have organized kitchens. I
Mhm.
have done closet organization, whether it's clothing or utility closets. I
Mhm.
have worked in people's basements and garages, organizing their tools and different
Yeah.
household items.
Yeah.
I've done home offices. I just finished a living room redecorating project, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Bedroom decorating. And then, in regards specifically to your office organization and decorating, I
Yeah.
love sharing with people just to be mindful that not everyone has your typical sense of an office where you come in and you sit at a desk. Like, I have a client who her office is a yoga studio.
Oh
I
wow.
have
Yeah.
another client who his office is a bakery.
Yeah.
And being able to shift the perspective in the business has really just helped me realize that there's no limit to who can be serviced by these services of finding, organizing, and decorating as a fun part in whatever their space is.
Yeah, that is so interesting. I did not even think about that, you know, the different concept of different offices. I'm just like thinking of like traditional office until you just said that. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, yeah, that totally makes sense because you
Yeah.
definitely need to organize those kind of locations. So that definitely makes sense. So what in your business, what sets your business aside from other businesses? What makes you different?
So I think that we are all different. And I love that there is many of us. Like in the real estate world, there's a lot of agents. And I
Yeah,
always tell people it's great that there's a lot of agents because you can actually find someone that you like. And if you don't like
yeah,
someone, go find someone else.
yeah.
So similar with this as well. You know, I have what I love in my business and how I like to do business.
Mhm.
I would say that what sets me apart from others is just the intentionality and how we go about making change in your space.
Yeah.
For me personally, I love to work with team members who are just very mindful and respectful of the fact that this person is letting us in their home, in
Yeah.
their office, in their sacred space.
Yeah.
So I would say a big part is just intentionality. That's what sets me apart, you know, focusing on our clients' why and being intentional to help the client understand there's a reason why we're making these changes. And when we focus on what the pain point is, when it's changed, we can actually feel satisfaction rather than just brushing it off and being like, oh, that was nothing. You know, I could have done that myself, which
Yeah.
I don't get often because we actually go through and we talk about the deeper meaning behind things. So
Yeah.
that would be something in specific. I'm also very flexible with the solutions that I offer to my clients. So I know that what works for me isn't going to
Mhm.
work for someone else. I know
Yeah.
that what works for one client isn't going to work for the next. So having the same system to create change, but being flexible in the solutions that we offer to my clients as well.
Yeah.
And another thing would be communication. Sometimes I kind of get on myself because I feel like I over communicate. And
Yeah.
I always check in with my clients and I'm like, is this too much? Is this too much information? Are you
Yeah.
overwhelmed? Like, is this okay? And they're like, no, like, this is so helpful. We didn't even think about this. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, good. So,
Yeah.
communication with care and just, again, recognizing and being grateful for the fact that they've offered me the time to be here and to help them. And that's, again, something I don't take lightly.
Yeah. Yeah. So that kind of okay. So everybody watched Home Edit, you know, I mean, or I think I said it right. So
Yes.
do you go into a space and then the client leaves, or are they there a lot of times? I'm just curious.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, every client's different. And that's
Mhm.
one of the main questions that I love to focus on in my consultation is how involved do you want to be with the
Yeah.
organizing process or the decorating process? Because some people can't handle it. Some people are like, I don't want to touch a thing. You just do
Yeah.
your thing and I'll come back when you're done. And then I
Yeah.
have some clients that are like, no, like I want to be in there. I want to see what you're doing. I want to see how you're doing it because they want to know how to maintain it when I'm gone.
Yeah.
So both, both options.
Okay.
um, I've done it
Okay.
both ways. It's whatever
Okay.
suits the client and whatever they're comfortable with.
Okay. Here's another question I have for you. So like one question I want to know, like, do you have a like your typical or ideal client, but also yeah, we'll start out with that question. I have another question to follow up with. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Typical, there's really no typical. Back to what I said of we're all different.
Yeah.
Again, I am helping someone with a bakery and I was helping someone with a yoga studio. So those are two different worlds.
Yeah.
But the ideal client would just be someone who's ready, someone who is absolutely fed up and can't take it anymore because it's an intense process
Yeah.
organizing specifically and also decorating because it's very complex and there's a lot of planning.
Yeah.
So anyone who's ready to make that change, that's my ideal client.
Okay. Do you help like I just kind of what goes to my mind is when I, you know, when I sell houses, I have a lot of older folks that I'm like, oh, somebody needs to organize this. Or they need help, or we need to downsize all the you know, the belongings inside the house. Do you work with a lot of clients like that that are older and maybe need help? can't decide?
Yes, I've worked with a few clients of older age, specifically with that in the sense of real estate, because I think that's kind of what you're getting at more so
Yeah.
is the downsizing process.
Yeah.
It depends on where they're going. If
Okay.
they are going to a nursing home or if they are going to an assisted living facility, then I actually have someone that I refer them to who specializes in that. So we
Okay.
do the same thing, but she does it to another extent. She actually helps people sell their items. She
Okay.
helps them relocate and take their belongings, some of their belongings, with them to the new facility, wherever it is.
Okay.
But for me specifically, I do help with downsizing. I do help with packing people up and helping them get moved and set up
Yeah.
in their new space. In regards to real estate as well, if someone's selling their house and they need to make it,
Yeah.
show ready, I
Yeah.
help with packing and staging as well.
Okay. Okay. I was curious about that. I just was curious about like all the things that you offer.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is the biggest impact of creating a new space for a person? Like, what do you find the biggest, how does it impact them the most?
Great question. So I call my business a joy space. And we call every
Yeah.
time that I'm talking to a client, we're referring to their space as their joy space. So first and foremost, a joy space is just one that serves you. It looks like a space that makes you happy when you walk in.
Yeah.
And what makes you happy may not be what makes me happy. So it's gonna look different.
Yeah.
I have found that the impact, I love this quote by Marie Kondo. Do you know who Marie Kondo is?
I've heard of her, but who is she? Just
She
everybody knows, so everyone knows.
she is an organizing expert and she has
Okay.
been doing this for years. I'm not sure what country she's from, but she doesn't even speak English and she has literally come to America with a translator to help clients get organized.
Yeah.
And one of her mottos and the quotes that she lives by and works by, and I love and implement in my business as well, is imagine yourself living in a space that only contains things that spark joy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah.
when you take a moment to think about that and really sit with that thought of like, are the things around me actually making me happy? Do they actually make me smile and feel good? That's the impact. Realizing whenever that shift has happened, because it's huge. It's really huge to walk into a space and to actually want to be there versus walking into a space and being like, holy crap, I got to take care of this, know?
Yeah. I feel like with some folks, it could be just so overwhelming that they don't even know where to start. And I think that's really what you do comes into play where, and they just, so they don't start. And so that they've just got all that on their shoulders. So yeah, I can definitely, I definitely do that.
With that question in specific, I like to say, we're transforming clutter into comfort. So that's another way to perceive the impact. Also, we're transforming clutter with joy because we're doing it intentionally so that you can live with ease. So the impact is, you're getting ready for the day, where your shoes are, where your favorite pen is that you always take with you when you leave the house, where your keys are because your keys have a home. So creating systems that make your life easier on a day-to-day basis. And to quickly go back to what you just mentioned about people not knowing where to begin, I had a consultation last week and they were so overwhelmed and they were like, I don't even, like, we really, really want to get this done, but I don't know where to start. So even in just the consultation, I came back a week later for the follow-up and they were like, oh my gosh, we already did part one and we already feel so much better. Like, when can you come and help us get this finished?
Oh, that's so
they
amazing.
Just needed to know where to start.
Yeah. And I think that's the hardest part. I mean, I think, what you do, I can just imagine it just probably reduces so much anxiety in folks and just brings, like you said, joy. That's why you named the company, which is amazing. And that's just, of course it's your name, but it's just amazing. So it's a good place for you to be working in.
For sure.
Yeah. So is there anything else that you want everyone to know? Of course, we're going to have all your information below in the chat. So that everybody knows how to reach you. But is there anything else you want people to know about your business or you that is helpful for them to choose you to help them organize their homes?
I love that question. I've actually never been asked that question, so
thank
you. Yeah, it's normally like, what are these things? Oh, okay, cool. And then they're like, okay, that's enough. But what else do I want people to know about me
Yeah.
and my business?
Yes.
I would say the biggest thing is just, you know, when you're ready, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's something that I believe not only for organizing, but also just for life. When you're
Yeah.
ready for something and you say yes to it, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And joy, I love to refer to as an acronym. J stands for judgment free. So first and foremost, I'm not coming to your space to tell you to get rid of all your crap. No, I'm coming to your space to have a conversation with you about what really is important to you so that you feel clarity on making those decisions for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, people realize it like that. They're like, oh, wait, I actually don't like that at all. Because
Yeah.
they see something they do love and they notice the difference in how it feels. So the biggest thing would just be, I'm not here to judge you. I have my stuff too. I may be organized, but I have days where I live in chaos because I may not be well and it reflects in my space. And then the O is for open to receiving. So it's all about, when you're ready, you're going to be ready to receive the ideas I have, the ideas you have, and
Yeah.
let's get this done. And then the Y is for yielding abundance. So once you clear your space,
Yeah.
watch how much stuff is going to be able to come in that you want to say yes to and actually feels good to you. So that would be the biggest thing. I would just
Yeah.
say, know that we're not here to judge. Know that I'm only here to help and service you when you're ready.
Well, that is amazing. Okay, one last question, and then we'll let you go today. What do you feel like through this business and helping all the folks that you've taken from it most? Like, it could be, anything. I mean, what do you feel like the biggest thing you've learned about working with folks and their spaces has been? It's a hard one, I know. I like
I
to
was
throw it
gonna
out.
say there's a lot of things that I've learned. I love talking to other business owners because it's one thing to do what you'd love to do, it's another thing to run a business.
Yes.
So in regards to doing what I love to do for others and not in the business aspect, because
Yeah.
I've learned a lot in the business aspect,
Yeah.
but for servicing others, I would say, questions, asking the right questions, really not being afraid to dig deep and make sure that I really understand why something's happening. And not only for me to understand, but for them too as well. Because
Mhm.
whenever they have that clarity, they make decisions a lot easier. So I
Yeah.
would say the biggest thing that I learned is that, it's important to talk. It's
Yeah.
important to communicate. It's important to dig deep and ask questions. So that way, it actually shows through as their space. And I would say the sub of that biggest thing that I've learned is that nobody is going to create the same space. Your joy space is not my joy space, and
Yeah.
vice versa.
Yeah.
So what works for you works for you. And that's what we're here to do is, customize it to you because I want it to be a reflection of you because this is your home or this is your office or this is your space. So
Yeah.
just realizing that it all looks different. It's not supposed to all look one way.
Yeah. Not like the shows, like where everything's in like
Not
rainbow. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Which is cool.
yeah,
It's cool, but I
it
bet you
is.
that everybody likes rainbows or whatever. Yeah. So and it sounds like your business and your job is a lot of counseling folks around just figuring out what works for them.
For sure.
Yeah, and a lot of just digging in and looking at the, counseling. That's pretty much it. I can imagine. Yeah. So
I
just trying
like
to
to
figure
tell
it out.
people,
Well, yeah.
I like to tell people that I do my best not to straddle the line of your therapist and your
Yep.
organizer because I am, a professional organizer, not a
Yeah.
licensed therapist, but
Yeah.
I'm also human. So I
Yeah.
can listen and I can give feedback. So
Yeah, for sure. That's what I was kind of trying to figure out. I was like, how do I say that? What's the best way to say that? But yeah, you hit it on nail on the head. Well, we are so excited that you were able to come on and chat with us. I really,
thank
really
you.
appreciate all the time you gave to us today and good luck moving. You made it sound like it wasn't not gonna be that difficult. I think moving is the most difficult thing to do for folks.
I have a plan.
Good. When you're organized, so you probably have a really good plan.
I
That's
have a good
really,
plan.
yeah, very nice. I like it.
Yeah.
All of Joy's information will be below in the chat, so anyone will be able to get a hold of her. And also, if if you just want her information, you can always just reach out to me as well, and I will connect you with her. So thank you again so much. And I hope your weekend is fabulous and the moving is not that painful and you get done really quick. So then you can relax.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Carrie. I appreciate you taking the time to learn more and be open to all my answers. And I look forward to talking with you again soon. Have fun rating your dives. I look
Yeah, the
forward to hearing
diving.
who's doing the
Yeah.
best.
And the dancing. Now this year we're doing a lot of dancing down the dive board and then doing a dive. So
That's even better.
it is pretty good. It's pretty amazing. It makes good video. So yeah.
I love it.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.